Lawrence, the Golden Age Gamer here, and I just have a real quick video to do. I am about to switch between the RX 470 GPU with the 480, and I'm the kind of person, you know, I went to school for computer science, and I learned a lot along the years. I build with PCs, I repair them, and I never buy any GPU, especially video cards, without doing a lot of research. It pays to do research, so I basically decided that I would pass some of this information on to anybody else who maybe hasn't done the research, so that you can make an educated decision about what you want to get. So with that being said, I want to just take a look at some of the 480 models that are out and talk about what I think about them. And the first one we can talk about is, well, let's go with the XFX. Let's go with the XFX. So if we look at the XFX, it's got a great cooling solution. 5 copper heat pipes, you know, looks like it's about 5. Huge heat sink. This will do a fantastic job cooling the core. Great, what looks to be a great overclocking video card. However, unfortunately, when we look a little bit closer, we begin to see some chinks in the armor. And this is what I want to take a look at. This is the problem. This is one of the problems. One of the issues that I'm seeing going on in a lot of the aftermarket cards, and it's right here. That little black plate is all that's cooling your video RAM. It does not come into contact with the large heatsink and the copper pipes. None of that is going to be helping cooling your video RAM. So when you go to overclock this card and you go to turn up your video RAM to turn up the speed of it, as you should, because a proper overclock of a GPU, you should turn up the core and try to gradually ease up your video RAM as high as you can get it, running stably to get the best performance. You're not going to be able to do that with this. You're just not. I can tell you that right now. You're not. I mean, you probably get a little bit out of it, but not much. This is not a card I would buy if I wanted to do a little bit of overclocking. And let's forget about extreme overclocking. Let's just throw that right out the window. This is not going to work for that. If you want to put this card, I'm not trying to say the card's garbage. If you want to put this card in your machine and don't touch it, just set it and forget it. This is a fabulous card, and it's well built. Don't get me wrong, it's well built. But there are some flaws, and they cut corners, and this is one of the places they did. This should never have happened. That video RAM should have had direct contact with the heatsink, and it doesn't. And because of that, extreme overclockers that buy this are going to suffer. Unless, of course, you throw a water cooling unit on it, and not everybody has that kind of bread. So with that being said, that's one down and out. So let's get on to somebody else. Who's the next victim on the list? Hey, why don't we take a look at what do we got here? Here we go. Here's another victim. The Asus Strix. I wish I could have found a bigger picture. But even though this picture is blurry, once again, you can already see where I'm gonna go with this one. A little tiny metal strip. It doesn't even cover the video RAM. Oh, look at the video RAM. Half the video RAM exposed. That video RAM makes no contact with the humongous, ginormous triple fan heatsink of the Asus Strix. So, once again, when you go to turn up that video RAM, guess what? Epic fail. You will not be getting good overclocks with that if you want to go beyond what they've already set for the factory. That is a shit card. I would not buy it, and they've got a lot of nerve trying to charge almost $300 for it. They could take that card and stick it where the sun doesn't shine. That's the worst offender of all of them. Oh, God. Let's see what else. Oh, here we go. This one is a mixed bag, but I like it a lot. It actually ends up being like one of my number 2 cards. Here we have the Red Devil, the Power Color Red Devil RX 480. This is an awesome card. The heatsink is freaking ginormous. And yes, you actually get direct contact with the memory modules. They did it the way it was supposed to be done. Bravo, kudos to Power Color. They got it right. However, like everybody else, they had to cut corners. God forbid if they just do something absolutely right from start to finish. It never happens. Never. They had to cut corners. So let's take a look. And where they cut the corners, after doing a little research, I found out where they cut the corners. Because I knew there had to be some kind of corners cut. Well, I was hoping there wouldn't be. This is the high-end power delivery for your VRAM. I mean, for your MOSFETs, your power delivery system. These are the chips that basically are your high-end that help regulate and deliver power. And these chips are cheaper than the chips that come with the reference AMD card. That reference AMD card with that horrible blower, these chips are lower quality than that. So if you, once again, the heatsink on this thing is amazingly good. It's amazingly good. It's the best out of all of them. I will tell you that right now. As far as cooling goes, nobody out there's got a better cooling solution than the Red Devil, than Power Color. This is the shit. This is what you want. However, if you're going to try to go anything beyond the factory overclock, if you're going to try to go do extreme overclocking, like you want to hit 1400 or maybe even over that on the core, and you want to bump up your VRAM like 200 megahertz, like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. You very well may have hardware failure because of the high side that's delivering power to your power, your 6+1 power delivery system there. That may fail on it. It very well may fail, especially if you try to really push the edge of the envelope, do some record-breaking overclock. This is not the card that you want. But once again, if you put this card in your machine, leave it at the factory overclock settings, or even try to hit like maybe 1370, 1360. Maybe try to get a modest 100 megahertz overclock on the video RAM. Like, this card is really good. It's great, for a matter of fact. I love the card. Even though I didn't go with it, it was my next choice. I can honestly tell you it was my next choice. But I didn't go with that. Well, here we go. We've got to go to Sapphire, right? We got to go there. Let's just jump right to the board. Awesome board. There's nothing on this board that is bad. They no longer... If you have one of the newer Sapphire cards, you will, if you tear it down, you will discover that it no longer has a 6+1 power phase delivery system. That's okay. The 5+1 is fine because each one of these phases is delivering something like 40 amps. That's extremely high. That's a lot of power. It doesn't matter. The exclusion of the sixth, the fact that they removed one of the power phases in no way detracts from, this product. It just doesn't. This is as far as the board is concerned, the fact that this is missing does not matter. This is a fantastic product. Where the product is not so fantastic, here we go again. Yep. Look at this tiny piece of crap heatsink that's over the CPU. I mean, it's all the CPU, the GPU, the core. Now, they actually did it right. They've got a cold plate covering the core, and it's also making direct contact with the video RAM. It's freaking awesome. But they screwed it up again. Instead of putting, like, anybody that remembers the 2 and 300 series R9 cards, the Tri-X with the triple fan and the giant heatsink, that's what this 480 needed. With direct contact with the video RAM and the core, just like they did. But this little tiny Isuzu piece of metal that they have over this card is not going to cool it properly. Which why even when you run it at the factory OC settings, it's hitting like 78, 79 degrees. 77, 78, 79, depending on the temperature inside your case, depending on the case that you have and its cooling potential, you're seeing 77 degrees and better. That's pathetic. If they would have put the Tri-X cooling solution on this and maybe charged an extra $30, which I would have gladly paid, they would have had an award-winning card. Once again, and this is really shameful because Sapphire is a company that I always, and whenever somebody asks me about what's the best AMD card, 9 times out of 10, I don't even bother reviewing or looking at hardware. I just say Sapphire because there's a reason why Sapphire has been for many years the preferred partner of AMD because they make the best shit. This year, no. I have to honestly say no. They screwed up. They dropped the ball. They really disappointed me. They really did. This is a disappointment. This is a huge, epic fail, in my opinion. From a company that attention to detail has always meant everything to them. This is crap. Crap. Yeah. Crap. Should be ashamed of yourselves. Next. Finally, the card I decided on. Now, I've been overclocking for years. I've forgotten more about overclocking than some people will ever know. I've forgotten more about building and repairing PCs than some people will ever know. I'm not overclocking anymore. I just don't have the desire to. I just don't feel like being bothered. It's a chore to me. I just want to play games now. I'm 46 years old. That's why they call me the Golden Age Gamer. I'm an old timer still playing games. I don't want to screw around with overclocking. I just don't anymore. I've done it a million times. I've got overclocks that were amazing. I've done all that stuff. I've been there, done it. I don't need to do it anymore. I just want to set it and forget it. And if you're that type of person, then there's only one card that you should be looking at, and that's the MSI RX 480. This card, they've got some secret sauce under the hood. I mean, granted, looking at it, you can tell it's not a crap design. 200 millimeter fans, 4 or 5 heat pipes in there. I can't tell, 1, 2, 3. I think it's 4, maybe even more, 5. I don't know. I can't really tell. It's a lot. It's 4 or 5 heat pipes, something like that. It's ridiculous. It's a huge cooling solution there. They've got direct contact, even though they're using this metal plate that's covering your video RAM. They must somehow have direct contact. I have not torn down my own MSI card, my 470. When the 480 comes, I will verify this because I'm going to tear it down because I want to see it for myself. But I can guarantee, I can just see the way it's built that there's somehow there's some kind of direct contact. Even though there's a metal plate covering your video RAM, There's some of your VRAM, and they've got this metal plate here covering it. It's a rather large metal plate, so it can absorb some heat, and somehow it's got to be transferring into this heatsink unit. The reason I say that is I've got a Cooler Master 130 Elite case. It's a mini ITX case. I have one 80mm fan on the side, blowing cool air in. I have another 120mm fan on the front. It's a high-quality 120mm fan, but it's attached to a Corsair H55 AIO water cooling kit that's attached to my CPU. So even the 120mm front fan on my case is blowing hot air because it's sucking in cool air from outside the case, and then it's going through a radiator. So it's blowing warm air through the case. I have no real cool air coming into this case except for the 80mm fan on the side. That being said, let's take a look at my temps, shall we? This thing idles at 52C. It never goes a degree above 52C. Now, in a big case, or even a decent-sized micro ATX case, that wouldn't be that good. But in a mini ITX case, this is impressive. In gaming, under load, Witcher 3, 5 hours gaming, never see it go above 62C. Never. This MSI card has got some kind of secret sauce under the hood. It's dead quiet. You never hear it. Never. And it runs cool as hell. So of course I went and got the 480. I'd be a fool not to, because I want quiet performance and I want cool performance, because I've got a case that is starved for cooling. It doesn't have enough fans, in my opinion. I would have liked to have seen somehow like at least a 92mm fan somewhere in the rear to help pull some of that hot air out the back, but they don't have any rear fans on this case. None. And I'm getting, if you really think about it, phenomenal temps. So yeah, I'm going with the MSI. And with that being said, to round things up, if you want quiet performance and cool performance and just want to set it and forget it, MSI is the number one card. If you want the best performance as far as the highest FPS and you just want to set it and forget it and you're not going to overclock, Sapphire is the number one card. If you want to overclock, as long as you're not trying to do extreme overclocking, if you want to overclock it yourself and you want quiet performance and you want halfway decent temps, I would have to go with the Power Color Red Devil. That would be my recommendation for that category. For that person that wants to tweak and manually overclock and wants to get good results and wants quiet performance. You're not going to get cooling, really good cooling. It's going to run hot like the Sapphire. But what you're going to get is quiet performance, and you can hit some impressive overclocks. I know. My buddy's got one of these, and he's got like 1390 on the core. I don't know how the hell he did it. Well, I know how he did it. He raised up the power target. You know, he did some razzle-dazzle. He's probably not going to get more than about 2 years out of the card, but he got it done. But if you're that kind of person and you don't mind, yeah, the Red Devil is the number one choice. If you want out-of-the-box fastest performance, Sapphire is the choice. If you want quiet, cool performance and still good, decent, respectable performance levels and set it and forget it, MSI is the one to go with. Those are my opinions. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope maybe it helped you a little bit. If it has, let me know. If you're looking to buy an RX 480, which one do you want to get? Why do you want to get it? Let's talk about it. I'm willing to chat. I'm willing to break bread and sit down and discuss it. Let's discuss it. Which one do you want? Why do you want it? After seeing my video, has your opinion changed about a card that maybe you were looking at and now you're saying to yourself, I don't know about that. Let's talk about it. Leave some comments. Like, subscribe. Thank you, each and every one of you. I really appreciate anybody that comes to my channel, watches my videos. I really do. I'm new in this. I'm not doing it to become rich. I'm not doing it to monetize and to make money off you. I'm doing it because I just love this stuff, man. So if you love it too, do me a favor. Like, subscribe. Leave some comments, man. I love to chat. With that being said, God bless each and every one of you. And Godspeed.